competitions also fit in here a little bit. So how can we integrate competitions with TED? The Greek system, how can we leverage our two members and use that to increase membership? Bus cards was kind of mentioned, we'll put number 4. Having separate meetings to cater to different groups and cater to the increased number of people at the meetings. Food, number 6. How do we get more food, where we get the money, those different things. Number 7, how do we develop a UGA presence, not just necessarily an international student presence. Number 8, the social aspect of Toastmasters, the friendness. Advertisement in general, I feel that it's so broad, so I'm gonna get rid of this one just because it's so broad and all these other things do kind of relate. Yeah. But that doesn't mean we can't advertise, obviously. You can't advertise that. And then chalk on Sanford is number 9. So you have 9 different things. So for voting, everybody just please choose 3. Write them on the back of that paper. Helen, I'll give you a sheet of paper. Choose from those 3, and then I'll tally it up and tell you what the winner was.
Choose top 3.
Choose the top 3. You can write on the back of that or another sheet of paper, just say paper. Club collaboration with other orgs, number 1. Number 2, getting someone from Toastmasters to go to do a TED Talk. Number 3, leveraging Greek system. Number 4, bus cards. Yes.
Should we like 1 and then the name, or 1 and then the number?
Oh, you can do the name. Okay. Yeah, because either one. Yeah. Do the name. Do the name, because number 1, number 7 may confuse me. Number 5 is having specialized meetings, so an advanced manual meeting or things like that. Number 6, having more food. 7, increasing our presence through UGA. Number 8 is having more friends, doing more social stuff, and 9 is getting chalk on Sanford. So whenever you're done, just fold it up, and I'll come by and get it. And that's the end of my speech. Thank you. My speech.
That was cool.
Oh, here's this.
And I'll collect papers and all that stuff. You can take time.
Okay, everybody, I know you're busy, but you gotta write down the feedback too.
The top button? No, yeah.
Yes.
Has everyone written something? If not, that's okay. Alright, everyone got their creative juices flowing in that last speech. It was very good. Our next speech is going to be given by no one other than Grant Couper. He's going to be working on project number 2, Organize Your Speech. It's 5 to 7 minutes, and it is titled, What Grant is Doing. Please welcome to the stage, Grant Couper.
Alright, well hello everyone. So when I was going through the manual to pick out my topic, it was kind of saying to pick out something that you're going to be like an expert in or know pretty well. So I was thinking to myself, like, well, I could come up here and talk about like fantasy football or playing Nintendo 64 or like playing baseball or something, but that probably wouldn't be too applicable to you guys. Wouldn't be very interesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what my life kind of revolves around right now, which is accounting, and kind of what my career path is going to be. So, and I think it'll be a little bit, it'll be more interesting than you probably think it'll be. A little bit different perspective on what accountants actually do. So just to, in general, a lot of people think about accountants boring, debits and credits all day, journal entries all day, and yes, that does happen, but at the same time, the majority of accountants don't do that. So to get into what I do, so I'm in my master's year. So basically, when you enter in the master's program, you pick a specialty. So there's 3 specialties, one smaller one, which is like audit systems. So you're basically deciding and implementing systems revolving around accounting and seeing, yeah, they're actually recording things right, like sales and expenses and kind of what you think of. But out of 100 people in my accounting program, there's only 5 people that do that. So not as many as you would think. So the first main one is tax. So everyone knows taxes. No one likes them, but it's more corporate tax. Obviously, it's not individual tax. So you have to know not only the American tax code, which is 800 pages, crazy. Like you got to know C corps, S corps, sole proprietorships, partnerships, all of this stuff. You have to know also international tax. So I mean, all corporations are international these days. So you have to know. If you book like a sale in this country, how does that impact your taxes in that country and in America? And so if you have your taxes wrong, you'll end up paying millions of dollars of penalties if you get these tax computations wrong. So that's what they do. And the main one, so probably 60 people do this, is auditing. So auditing is making sure financial statements are correct. So this kind of impacts everyone throughout their lives. So financial statements are the statements that come, every company publishes. It has all your expenses, revenues, assets, liabilities, everything that a company does within a quarter or a year. That's what is published to the public. And so what is based off all of this is obviously like stock price, which is a huge valuation for any company. And so that is all based off of these financial statements. And then, so the second big thing that comes out of that is investor decisions. So investors solely rely on these financial statements to invest trillions and trillions of dollars into corporations. So in order to make sound investment decisions, these financial statements have to be correct. If not, they're making ill-informed decisions and playing with other people's money like that. Never a good idea. So if y'all maybe remember like 15 years ago, there was like the whole Enron and WorldCom thing. They had these horrible financial statements. Basically everything was incorrect. So people lost billions of dollars investing in these companies, and people put their pensions in it and lost all of that, so all their retirement savings. So auditors basically ensure that these financial statements are correct so that you can make these good decisions. So this is what a lot of accountants do. This is what I'll be doing. I'll actually be doing something slightly different. So I'll be auditing financial service companies. So that would include like banks, insurance, capital markets, companies like that, as opposed to like, so if you contrast that to say Walmart, if you look at their inventory, so Walmart's inventory would be like, food or toys or something like that. So whereas like a bank would be a loan, that is their quote inventory. So you don't really like count a loan as much as you would like, toys or something like that. You have to really value the loan. So that's kind of what I'll be doing, and kind of mixes both finance and accounting in the same thing. So that's what appealed to me. But so in the big picture, what appealed to me was in auditing, you see the process from beginning to end. You see, purchasing supplies from a vendor. You see making the sale, collecting the sale, paying the vendor. You see the entire thing happen, and so you gain a very broad perspective of how companies operate and really how they do the business. So you gain this huge base, and then so you can go out and build upon that base, and you can really show that you have this huge knowledge, and kind of come back from the weeds and say, yeah, I see the big picture. I see how everything fits together. And so after that, you can really go and do whatever. You can do consulting. You can do advisory. You can do almost anything you want in business. So that's kind of what has appealed to me to be an auditor. I know it doesn't sound too interesting or whatever, but hopefully it pays off for me in the end, and hopefully I taught you all a little bit about what I'll be doing. So thank you.
Oh, shit.
A lot of time.
Yes.
Alright, I hope everyone has written down something for Grant. We're just going to be moving right along. No, I'm just kidding. You guys have some time. Our next speaker is also in his advanced manual, and no, I'm not talking about Alex. You guys gotta calm down. He will be working from the storytelling manual, which is my favorite manual. I'm so excited. This project he's working on is Project 4, The Touching Story, and it is titled Put One Foot Ahead of the Other. So, as you guys may have heard from a few of his speeches, Zack used to be a wrestler in high school. But what I didn't know until today was he was also a manager in his high school wrestling team. So, today, Zack is going to tell us a little story about his managering years. Please welcome to the stage, Zack.
So, like she said, I had a year in wrestling, actually 2 years if you count middle school, I don't. But after wrestling ended because of the injury, I said I still want to be part of wrestling. I still had that adrenaline rush every single time I came into the workout room. I came in, it's a waft of hot air because outside is 40 and inside is 90. And I feel refreshed and said, this is where I want to work out. It also was a waft of bad smell, but who cares about that? But I wanted to be involved. I went up to my coach and I said, hey, I know wrestling will kill me, but I want to be part of this team. And he said, you can be the manager. And what that meant is you can bark orders when I'm too tired to bark orders. So I said, I'll take it. As long as I can be in the wrestling room, I can get motivated. And it will distract from all these AP tests and AP classes that I'm taking. So I'll do whatever you want. And then one day, I heard a very sad story about one of my wrestling friends that I wrestled not with because he was a heavyweight, 180 or 280, and I was 105. So I couldn't wrestle with him unless I wanted to break myself. But I wrestled with him. Him over there, I'm over here. And I was really inspired because he has been like overweight for his entire life, and he decided to join wrestling to get in shape. And I was inspired, even though I would never have that much weight loss ever in my life without being anorexic. But the summer before wrestling season started, the next year, he had an accident. He was in a car accident, and after the accident, he realized his foot was shattered. And it would take months, if not years, to recover. So he was in a cast all of that year. And he still came to the tournaments, he still came to the events, and he just sat there saying, I want to be out on the mat. I want that adrenaline rush. And then a year passed, and then another year passed. And finally, it's my senior year. And Alex, the guy I'm talking about, still hasn't wrestled the entire 2 years. But he came to every single tournament saying, I want to wrestle, and knowing that he couldn't. And his senior year, he walked into the wrestling room with no cast. He was not in any way in shape for wrestling. If he joined the wrestling team and got out on the mat, he would be demolished. In fact, I knew in freshman year, he was, even with a good leg, he was getting demolished. He was not very good. He was good at losing weight. He wasn't good at wrestling. But he said, hey Zach, I know I'm not going to be good, but I want to set up a goal for myself. You know how before wrestling, coach makes us run 2 miles and then go into it? I want to run 1 mile. I've never, even when I had a good foot, been able to finish that mile without walking the rest of it. I want to run that mile. And I said, I can help you out with that. And every single day, he came in bright and early and started running. And running and running and running. It was months before